Hello, I'm Joseph Giunta, the music director and conductor of the Des Moines Symphony, welcoming you to the DMSO Listening Room, a part of the DMSO at Home series featuring self-produced videos from our musicians' homes to yours. Last time, I spoke about what makes a piece of music great. Today, I'll talk about 10 great live performances that affected my life, performances that helped me understand standards of professional playing and how big that mountain is to climb. These performances shape the way I view the world and what I strive to be every time I conduct a concert. I've divided my experiences into 3 parts: the early years when I was growing up in southern New Jersey and attending both Philadelphia Orchestra and New York Philharmonic concerts each season. Second, the Chicago years when I was a student at Northwestern University and attended and later conducted the renowned Chicago Symphony Orchestra. And finally, the professional years that I have spent attending live performances of orchestras throughout the world. During the early years, Eugene Ormandy was conductor of the Philadelphia Orchestra, and Leonard Bernstein was the conductor of the New York Philharmonic. I could not have asked for a more stunning contrast in personalities. Ormandy, the senior Hungarian specializing in romantic music, and Bernstein in more edgy, modern music, including the music of Gustav Mahler. Ormandy was a gentleman, never overbearing, and seemed to allow the music to say what it needed to say without too much interference. Bernstein, on the other hand, infected every phrase, detail, and nuance with his personality, stretching, cajoling, begging, and pleading in every possible way to get more out of the music that was written. Bernstein was a superstar, Ormandy a workaholic with a photographic memory. Both, in their own way, were brilliant musicians that I had the privilege of knowing and learning from. The great performances of Ormandy and those fabulous Philadelphians included the Rachmaninoff's Second Symphony, Tchaikovsky's Symphony 4, 5, and 6, and Rimsky-Korsakov's Scheherazade. I attended performances of all these pieces, and they have never left my ear. Bernstein and his New York Philharmonic brought to my life the first live hearings of Mahler's Symphony No. 1, 2, and 5. During this time, Mahler's music was not played as much as it is today, and Bernstein was one of the few conductors that not only programmed his music regularly, but is regarded as the one conductor that can be celebrated for having believed in Mahler's music at a time of dormancy. Mahler and Bernstein aligned perfectly, and his performances were certainly events in New York City. The word great doesn't seem fitting for my memories of these concerts. Maybe remarkable, unprecedented, jolting, expressive, exhausting, overwhelming. All words that don't even begin to tell how much these performances affected my life. The Chicago years brought me to hear the Chicago Symphony conducted by the greatest conductors of that generation. It's where I learned the difference between a great conductor and an average one, and there were many great performances by this world-class orchestra. George Schulte conducting Mahler, Strauss, Wagner, and Bruckner were always special events, and his concert version of Wagner's Flying Dutchman is still one of the greatest performances I have ever heard live. Same could be said of my trip to Berlin conducting some German orchestras, but having a night off to hear Herbert von Karajan conduct the Strauss Alpine Symphony just before the Berlin Philharmonic headed into the recording studio to record it on the very first CD. This was great music making, and I could not sleep that evening because the music was so overwhelming and meaningful to me. Other great performances during this time included Carlo Maria Giulini conducting the Verdi Requiem and Beethoven 9, Klaus Tenstedt conducting Beethoven and Mahler, and even a young Claudio Abbado, eventually becoming music director of the Berlin Philharmonic, conducting a brash and exciting rendition of Ravel's Daphnis and Chloe's Suite No. 2. As I said in my last segment, Great music can be defined in many ways, but certainly one way is if it stays with you, how it changes your life, how it changes the way you view the world. All of these performances helped me be the conductor and person I am today, and how fortunate I am to have had so many memories of greatness. That's it for today's Listening Room. Next week, I'll speak about some of the greatest piano concertos ever written. And don't forget to go to our website at dmsymphony.org, where you can find links to some of the music I just spoke about. You will also find more content in our #DMSO at Home series. Thanks for watching.